For D, this is just pure knowledge. So looking at the order with respect to iodine, and that's the thing that we are looking at, the thing we have questioned, we have information for in the question, and the graph that we've drawn, our order is going to be 0, and that is simply because we've got a straight line and a constant rate. So you must make sure that you learn your 3 different types of graph order: 0, first and second order. You know the shapes of your graph, you know what is happening to the line, if it's increasing, decreasing, and so on, because this is a simple translation of knowledge in this case. Now, D looks hard. D looks very hard, but D is actually very logical. So let's start at the beginning. We've got a 3-step mechanism. We know the reactants, we know the products. We know that in step 2 this is what happens because it's given to us in the question. So let me show you how I would approach this question. If I know that step 2 starts with this, I know that actually that is the product of step 1. For this to be formed, it must have come from this substance here, which is my reactant. So I've popped that in here. I then have a look, what's the difference between this that I've put in because it's a reactant and this, which I've put in because I know that it's formed as part of step 1 to enable step 2 to proceed. The only difference is the H. So we must have a H plus ion coming in and joining onto this part here to enable this to be formed. So that's how we get through step 1. Then step 2 is done for us. And then step 3, again, how would I approach this? For the reaction to complete, the product of step 2 must be used up to form our proper products, if you like. So I know that the product of step 2 is actually my reactant for step 3. So that's all I've done. I've moved that from there to there. I know that my product must be this because it's telling me that up here. So all I've done is I've brought that down and I've popped it in as my final product here. Then I think, okay, what's the difference between this and this? How do I translate from here to here? Well, my other reactant is iodine, and I haven't yet put that in anywhere. So it must be that this here, from the end of step 2, reacts with the iodine, that is one of my reactants, to form this product, which I know because it's telling me that in the question. Now, the only other part here that might be a little bit more confusing is, okay, what else? Well, the H that we've got here has disappeared, and we had I2, but only one of those I's is joined on here. So there's a H and an I that are unaccounted for. H plus, I minus, forms HI. HI, actually, we know that that's a product because it tells us in the question. So the difference between the products and the reactants is the HI, and also we're getting that from the reaction that we've got at the top. Now, all of that is actually complete logic and given to you in the question. So you're extracting the information, you're processing it through. The only thing here that is a little bit difficult is the addition of the H plus to form this part here, and that's because the H plus is not mentioned, as it were, in the actual equation. So that would probably come from your acidification or some alternative source.